The greatest power you want has always existed within you, hidden in the rhythm of your breathing. Old masters were aware of this secret, using breath to achieve clarity, energy, and transformation. As you listen, you will uncover this lost wisdom and unleash the boundless power within. The internal power. Introduction. The sacred breath permeates all living things, flowing like an invisible river, connecting the tiniest grain of sand to the expanse of space. This heavenly current is within you, waiting to be awakened by the ancient practice of aware breathing. This ability has existed since the beginning of creation. Still, its secrets have stayed hidden from those who seek them in the outside world. The great masters knew that transformation begins with the smallest of deeds, rather than grand gestures or complicated rituals. A conscious breath. When you connect your breathing with the global beat, you get access to the same force that propels the tides and spins the planets in their orbits. You will dance. Each breath serves as a link between the physical and spiritual worlds, between limitation and limitless possibilities. The cosmos communicates through vibration, and your breath is the instrument that allows you to tune in to its frequency. When you inhale, you are drawing in not only air, but the whole essence of creation. When you exhale, you release not only your breath, but everything that stands between you and your full potential. This knowledge has been kept in secret schools throughout history, passed down through whisper instructions in sacred writings. As you read these words, you are at the threshold of ancient knowledge. The power of transformation is not found in some distant future or faraway place, but rather in this very instant, in the space between your thoughts, in the rhythm of your breath. The breath you take now, in this moment of recognition, contains the seed of your transformation. It can disintegrate the boundaries between what is and what could be. Conscious breathing allows you to become both the artist and the masterpiece, the sculptor and his clay, the dreamer and his dream. Part 1. Awakening the Breath of Creation. Chapter 1. The First Breath of Awareness. In the center of the vast deserts, where time itself appeared to melt, under the unrelenting sun, I took a short walk. A wanderer who had deviated from his path. His water skin hung empty by his side, and each stride became heavier than the last, till his knees struck the hot sand. His consciousness began to dissipate like a mirage. An ancient sage wearing white robes came from the shimmering heat. The sage provided no water, shade, or bodily comfort. Instead, he knelt near a mirror and spoke with the tenderness of an evening breeze. Your redemption is not in what you seek, but in how you breathe. The sage lit a mirror by placing his hand on his chest. With each guided inhale, draw from your depths as if you were sipping from an unending well. Amir's face regained its color. Now let go carefully. Let go of all that drags on your spirit. As Amir followed these directions, strength returned to his limbs. Within moments, his vision cleared, and there, not half a mile away, stood a grove of palm trees that he had somehow overlooked in his despair. The oasis had always been within reach, concealed not by distance but by his own dread. You, too, may be breathing in patterns of constraint. Pay attention to those around you. Observe how they breathe when they are terrified, shallow, quick, restricted. Their breath reflects their internal state, keeping them linked to outdated ways of thinking and being. However, inside you resides the ability to change this habit. Young Maya discovered this reality while sitting by the ocean's edge, watching waves wash ceaselessly toward shore. She observed something astonishing. The sea was breathing in and out. It moved with perfect rhythm. Wind in the trees. The clouds are in the sky. Everyone danced to the same cosmic breath. In that moment of clarity, Maya realized that she, too, was a part of this grand rhythm. Just as Maya sensed the global breath in nature's dance, you can find this link within yourself. When your breath connects with the natural flow of life, previously sealed doors open, previously concealed paths appear. Practice the ancient breath of alignment. Sit quietly for a moment. Place one hand on your chest and the other on your abdomen without attempting to change anything. Focus on your breath. Consider its rhythm, depth, and quality. Where does it begin? Where does it end? What ideas occur with each inhale? What emotions emerge with each exhalation? This awareness alone starts a shift. Allow each breath to flow naturally, serving as a mirror to reflect the relationship between your inner state and the universal rhythm that pervades everything. Chapter 2. The Forgotten Key to Manifestation. High in the mist-shrouded mountains, old stones house mysteries passed down through many centuries. A young pupil named Chen approached his instructor in the temple courtyard. The burning question in his heart could no longer be repressed. "Master," he responded, bowing deeply, "I have faithfully followed the teachings. I visualize. I agree. I believe. But why are my desires taking so long to manifest?" The master, who had been caring for the temple's sacred flowers, stood up carefully and studied Chen's respiration. He replied, "Because you're breathing the way that delays them." Chen's laughter rang against the stone walls, but it swiftly faded when he noticed his master's unflinching gaze. The master instructed them to keep a close eye on everything. "Your breathing is shallow and unsteady, like someone standing on the edge of a precipice, frightened to move ahead. Each cautious breath tells the cosmos that you are not prepared to receive throughout the long hours that follow." The master explained that Chen's breathing pattern represented his relationship with manifestation. Cautious, doubtful, the instructor said that retaining your breath is the initial step in the exchange with a boundless field of possibilities. Your willingness to receive is expressed through your breath. In the valleys under the monastery, May lived, a skilled pianist whose tunes never achieved the perfection she desired. Night after night, she practiced. However, her melodies remained slightly out of tune. She heard harmony in her heart, until one evening, an older woman walking by her window stopped to listen. The woman observed, "Your music is beautiful, but you are not breathing with it." She taught me to inhale the essence of each note before playing it, allowing her breath to carry the music before her fingers touched the strings. When May learned to breathe in sync with the music she wanted to make, her songs finally reflect the elegance she had always envisaged. Practice the breath of manifestation. Find a peaceful area where you won't be bothered. Close your eyes and visualize what you want to manifest. It already exists. Now breathe as if you are already experiencing that reality. If you crave abundance, breathe with the quiet security that comes from knowing that all of your needs are covered. If you seek love, breathe in the warmth and fullness of a heart that is already filled with great affection. Feel how your chest expands with each breath, as if your entire being exudes a bliss of perfect love. Allow each breath to bring in the precious essence of what you seek, flooding every cell in your body with divine presence. Allow each inhalation to dissolve any remaining doubt, fear, or resistance that lies between you and this blessed condition. Continue the sacred beat until your breath automatically connects with the sensation of already receiving your desire, and the air around you appears to pulse with the reality you seek to produce in the state of perfect harmony. You become one with your deepest desires. Chapter 3. Ancient Secrets Hidden in Every Inhale. In the flickering light of oil lamps beneath the shadows of ancient Egyptian temples, a youthful scribe named Amenhotep drew sacred hieroglyphs on papyrus. His hand ran methodically across the page till he came across words that made him pause with holy breath. The gods brought existence into being. You see, this fact is echoed throughout history. Amenhotep sought counsel from the temple elder. The answer arrived with the weight of ages. Breathing is the act of creation. This was not a metaphor, but the fundamental truth of existence. Every great culture has recognized the power that exists inside your breath. The yogis of India spoke about prana, the life force that flows through everything. Taoist masters cultivated qi, seeing it as the essence of transformation. The Hebrew mystics recognized ruach, the heavenly breath that travels across worlds. These were not separate teachings, but rather one truth experienced from several perspectives. What the ancients knew from actual experience. Modern science validates via research. Your breath has a direct influence on your brain waves, heart rate, rhythm, and the electromagnetic field that surrounds your body. Every mindful breath changes your biology, aligning you with higher realms of being. In a monastery high in the Himalayas, a text was concealed for generations, guarded by individuals who recognized its potential. When ultimately disclosed, its pages carried only one instruction: breathe as if you were one with everything, and you will be. This little teaching contains the key to your change. Practice the breath of unification. Sit quietly and let your attention focus on your natural breath. Feel how each breath draws in cosmic energy, infusing you with glorious light on the exhale. Feel your breath merge with the infinite field of creation surrounding you. Now, intentionally expand your breath until you feel your energy field expanding beyond your physical body. With each breath, pull in the power that builds worlds and exhale to release it. Dissolve the delusion that you are separate from the cosmos. Continue breathing in this manner until you experience yourself as pure consciousness. As one with everything in this state, you become a living channel for the same creative power that gives rise to stars. This isn't just a visualization. It is about remembering your true essence as a creating being. Take one breath at a time. Chapter 4. Breaking the bonds of shallow breathing. In old Chinese mountains, a weary traveler named Chan reached the Temple of Infinite Breath. Numerous questions weighed heavily on his shoulders. However, when he eventually came before the temple master, no words were said between them. The master, warned by experience, merely motioned Chen to lie down without warning. The master placed a large stone on Chan's chest. Minutes ticked by like centuries as the pressure increased. Chen's feeble breath became frantic, and in a moment of surrender, something ancient awoke within him. His body immediately pulled in a deep, powerful breath that appeared to flood every cell with light. The stone rolled away, and his chest expanded completely for the first time in years. The instructor said that breaching the hallowed quiet was your first true breath. You too have forgotten the importance of proper breathing. Modern life has conditioned your body to breathe in rapid, shallow gasps, mirroring the frenzied pace of a world that has lost its rhythm. Every limited breath promotes patterns of limitation, stress, and disconnection from your natural state of power. In a distant valley, a golden bird dwelt in a cage with the door open. Day after day, it stayed inside, wings folded, taking small breaths of air. Other birds called to it, but it had forgotten its actual identity. Then one morning, when sunlight filtered to the bars, the bird took a deep breath. At that point, its wings naturally unfurled, and it remembered it has always been free to fly. You, like this bird, have been living in a cage with shallow breathing. Your breath has grown tentative and reluctant, mirroring the beliefs that bind you. However, liberation lies in the simple act of breathing fully and profoundly, as nature intended. Practice the liberation breath. Lie on your back, with your hands on your lower abdomen. Feel the weight of your body succumbing to the ground. Now, breathe deeply into your abdomen and let it rise like a gentle wave. Feel your diaphragm stretch downward. Allow your lungs to completely fill with each inhalation. Allow your belly to rise fully with each exhale. Feel it fall organically. Notice how deeper breathing begins to relieve tension you had no idea you were carrying. Continue for many minutes, with each breath slightly fuller than the last. This is not just an exercise. It is a return to your natural form, a reclamation of the power that has always been yours. Chapter 5. The Quantum Breath, a portal to immediate change. In the revered halls of a prominent university, a gathering was held to reveal one of the universe's secrets, his most guarded secrets. A scholar named Thomas sat between two extraordinary people. Dr. Zhong was a quantum physicist whose research transformed our understanding of particle behavior, and Master Kareem, whose breathwork legacy dates back centuries of spiritual tradition. How do things change in an instant? Thomas questioned them both. Dr. Zhong spoke first. Her eyes sparkled with scientific enthusiasm. In quantum mechanics, Particles appear to communicate instantly over long distances. When one particle changes state, its entangled counterpart replies instantly, regardless of physical distance. This contradicts our traditional understanding of cause and effect. Master Kareem nodded, a knowing smile spreading across his face. The Ancient One mentioned the same principle. We may instantaneously change our frequency with each breath. As above, so below. The microcosm reflects the macrocosm. Shifting your breath affects your entire energy field. You can see how these two perspectives illuminate the same reality from different angles. The breath acts as a quantum connection to the realm of endless potential. Each conscious breath generates a wave of change that spreads throughout your existence, changing your vibrational frequency in an instant. In the mountains of Tibet, an artist named Wei lived, working tirelessly on his craft. His hands glided deftly across the stone. However, his sculptures failed to capture the vision he carried within. One day, an elder showed him how to breathe into his creations. Before you touch the stone, the elder advised, breathe as if your eyesight were already complete. Wei closed his eyes and started breathing. It's as if the masterpiece already exists. With each breath, he felt himself fuse with the completed sculpture. When his chisel finally touched the stone, it moved with flawless precision, as if the sculpture was showing itself. The same idea applies to your manifestations. When you breathe as if your wish has already been fulfilled, you align your entire being with that truth. This isn't just about visualization. Conscious breath practice brings about quantum alignment. Sit in stillness and envision anything you want to manifest. Now, breathe as if it were already yours. Feel the happiness, completion, and total certainty in every cell of your body. Let each breath capture the essence of your realized desire. Each breath removes any doubt or reluctance. Continue this breathing pattern for a few minutes, allowing yourself to completely experience the sensation of your manifestation as current reality. Your breath acts as a bridge between what is and what will be, causing an immediate shift in your vibrational frequency. Chapter 6. The Universal Rhythm of Breath and Energy. A traveler named Rashid strolled at dawn along the shores of an old sea. His gaze followed the rhythmic dance of waves against sand, noting the precise timing of each surge and retreat. Above him, the declining moon hung like a silver pendant. Its cycles have marked time since the dawn of existence. You both experienced this discord, the sensation of going against the natural flow of life. Like Rashid, you watch nature's seamless orchestration while feeling oddly disconnected from its harmony. The universe goes in cycles. Each breath of creation is perfectly timed. The trees inhale what you emit. Oceans rise and fall like a great chest breathing in and out. The stars pulsate with cosmic rhythm. Nature does not haste or push. Everything happens at the perfect time. When you breathe in accordance with the global rhythms, life responds in kind. Your energy field aligns with the natural order, and what was once a struggle has transformed into a natural flow. Sophia, a skilled violinist living in a distant place, performed below her capabilities. Her technique was superb. Something was missing. Her music lacked soul. Night after night, she performed with professional accuracy, but no magic. Her breathing was irregular and tight. One evening, an elderly maestro watched her perform. Following the show, he approached her. "Your breath fights the music," he stated. "Allow the melody to flow through you." Sophia resumed the following day. This time, she let her breath flow with the music's natural beat. As she played, her breath synchronized with the rise and fall of each sentence. The transformation was immediate. Her music sprang to life, touching hearts like never before. Practice the breath of global rhythm. Find a peaceful place where you can observe the natural cycles, the wind in trees, waves on the beach, or just the rising and setting of the sun. Begin to observe how your breath naturally aligns with these patterns. Allow your breathing to match what you see. If you're watching waves, inhale with the surge and exhale with the retreat. When watching sunrise or sunset, take an increasing light of dawn or the deepening hues of evening. Continue to practice until you feel your entire being in sync with nature's beat. This is your natural state, in complete harmony with the breath of life itself. Chapter 7. Feeling through the breath. Activating the law of assumption. A little child named Thomas stood on the edge of what appeared to be an infinite pit. Despite being blinded, he was told that a bridge would take him securely across. His little hands trembled. His breathing came in short, terrified gasps. You're familiar with the sense of being stuck between where you are and where you want to be, as Thomas was. You'll encounter situations in which faith must triumph over fear, when breathing into certainty becomes a bridge itself. The law of assumption works through the intelligence of your body. Each breath influences your biological reality, including your heart rate, brain waves, and hormonal balance. When you breathe as if you already have what you want, your nervous system responds accordingly. This is not a metaphor, but a measurable truth. Your breath literally rewires your cellular memory, allowing for new possibilities. In the mountains of ancient China, a warrior named Qin lived on the verge of an impossible fight. While others strategized, he sat in stillness. With each inhale, he breathed in the satisfaction of having already won. With each inhalation, he let go of any remaining doubt. By daylight, his entire person emanated a sense of accomplishment. Before the first sword was drawn, the war was already decided in his breath. This is a neglected key to manifestation, breathing from the finished outcome. When you inhale, you must breathe as a version of yourself who already possesses what you desire. Your breath serves as a link between the present and the future. Practice the breath of embodied reality. Close your eyes and picture. Your goal has already been accomplished. Feel it with all your senses. See it and touch it. Recognize it as real. Now, breathe like that version of yourself. Allow each to breathe. Fill you with the calm certainty of someone who already has what they want. Allow each to exhale. Eliminate any last doubt. Continue breathing in this manner until your body accepts the new reality as true. Your breath is altering your cell memory, aligning your entire being to the frequency of fulfillment. What you desire finds you through the force of your conscious breath. Chapter 8 discusses the value of silence between breaths. A disciple named Ravi sat before his master in a dimly lit chamber. Where does creation occur? He inquired, his voice full of keen inquiry. The master's response was not expressed in words, but in deed. He lit a solitary candle, the flame dancing in the quiet. Then he destroyed it gently and precisely, not in the flame or in the breath, but in the silence between them. You've been looking outside yourself for the power of creativity, but it lives in the places you've learned to ignore. Every inhale and exhale opens up a door to limitless possibilities, a period of complete calm in which transformation is possible. In ancient times, this place was known as the void, the womb of creation. Your thoughts crystallize into form when you are completely still. Modern life has taught you to rush through these precious spaces, filling every minute with activity and noise. However, true mastery of manifestation necessitates embracing these moments of silence. Dominic, a master clockmaker, lived in a workshop surrounded by snow-covered peaks. Day after day, he created watches with amazing precision, but something eluded him. One night, as he sat listening to his finest work, he noted the gap between each tick rather than the ticking itself. During that small moment, he discovered something amazing, a moment that exists outside of time itself. It was at these moments that he discovered the key to producing timepieces that appear to bend reality. The interval between breaths is your gateway to the eternal. When you learn to rest in this place, you leave the linear flow of events and enter a realm where all possibilities exist simultaneously. In the space between breaths, you can modify reality itself. Sacred breath practices the emptiness of creation. Sit in complete stillness. Let your breath flow normally. Then start to notice the small pause after each breath. Do not force or expand it. Monitor each breath cycle. Allow your awareness to delve deeper into these moments of silence. Feel how time appears to stop at these moments. This is the emptiness from whence manifestation originates. The hallowed gap between breaths is where thinking becomes reality. Continue this technique until you sense yourself merging with the stillness, becoming one with a creative force that runs through everything. Chapter 9. Align your breath with abundance. Thomas, a farmer, resided in a village where the ground had cracked due to the drought. His crops were barren beneath the scorching sun, and he would fall to his knees every morning, imploring with clenched fists for rain. His desperate prayers resonated into the empty sky. You see, Thomas personified the very definition of deprivation. His breath was short and constricted with terror, mirroring the tightness of his depleted grain stockpiles. His every inhalation conveyed a sense of paucity. Every sigh whispered of want. One evening, he was kneeling in his dusty field. An ancient sage appeared without saying anything. The sage placed a hand on Thomas's shoulder and instructed him to sit. Breathe. The sage gave instructions, not like one who pleads for rain, but as one who has already felt its blessing on his flesh. The sage advised Thomas to breathe deeply and thoroughly, knowing that each breath would bring riches. Thomas started to feel the cool moisture in the air, the weight of water-laden clouds, and the freshness before rain. That night, the skies opened over a distant city's marketplace. Kareem, a merchant, faced ruin. His shelves became empty. His ledgers revealed increasing losses. His metamorphosis, however, was brought about by the knowledge of his breath, rather than by new strategies or desperate methods. Every morning, before entering his shop, Kareem would breathe as if his coffers were already full. His inhales had the perfume of victory. His exhale cleared any doubts. His circumstances turned around in a single lunar cycle, not by coincidence, but by the universal rule. Your breathing patterns reflect your reality. The universe responds not to your desires, but to who you are. When you breathe in poverty, you exhale lack. When you breathe abundantly, you become a magnet for wealth. This is not a metaphor, but the fundamental law of manifestation. The breath of wealth. Practice. Sit with perfect alignment. Your spine is straight as a gold pillar. Begin by breathing deeply into your abdomen, feeling endless richness with each inhale. As you exhale, feel prosperity rush into every cell of your being. Release all patterns of scarcity. Imagine golden light entering your energy field with each inhale. Continue this breathing pattern for 12 cycles. Feel yourself become one with the frequency of plenty. Let each breath proclaim, abundance comes to me as naturally as air in my lungs. This ancient exercise, when practiced with firm trust, attunes your entire being to the rich vibration. Chapter 10. The Breath of Letting Go. Releasing resistance in the ocean's depths where light can scarcely reach. A man named Rajan battled against the powerful waves, his arms thrashing. His lungs burned, and with each desperate effort, he fell farther into the darkness. You noticed a similar tendency in your own life. The more you resist what is, the deeper you fall into your dread. Pay close attention as Rajan's narrative develops. The moment of transformation occurred not via more effort, but through the reverse. As his strength fled him, something ancient and wise awoke within. He yielded, his body relaxed, and he found himself floating lightly on the surface. This truth has endured through the centuries. The tighter you clutch, the more life slips between your fingers. This wisdom is contained within your breath. Each time you exhale fully and completely, you practice the art of letting go. In the mountains to the east, there was an archer named Chin. He studied his art every day, but his arrows fell short of their targets. His shoulders were strained, and his grip was too firm. His breath caught in dread of failure. Then, one morning, as dawn painted the sky, he learned how to breathe differently. Chin exhaled, releasing not only air but also his attachment to the outcome. He releases arrows while exhaling, relinquishing control of their flight. In that release, in that faith, his arrows struck with remarkable precision. You've been holding your breath, grasping your desires so firmly they won't move. The universe works in paradox. What you chase moves faster. What you release returns on its own accord. This is why the final breath practice I'm about to share with you is the most effective, the breath of surrender. Sit in silence. Begin with a deep breath that fills you entirely. Then, as you breathe, release everything. Your hopes, worries, and craving for control. Allow your exhalation to be long, leisurely, and complete. Feel your body's natural surrender to gravity with each breath cycle. Concentrate on the exhalation. Consider how life itself sustains you when you quit resisting it. Continue this technique until you experience a profound calm that comes with genuine letting go. This is not resignation, but rather alignment with the flow of global energies. Surrender reveals your greatest power. Part 2, Bringing Your Desires to Life. Chapter 11, The Magnetic Breath. How to attract others effortlessly. In the early morning mist, where the sea joins the coast, lived a fisherman named Hector. Every morning, he would cast his nets with tremendous determination. His motions are frenetic. His breath was faint and rapid. But every evening, he returned home with empty nets and a heavy heart. You, too, have felt this difficulty. The harder you pursue your desires, the more they seem to slip away. Like Hector, you may find yourself depleting your energy in chase, unconscious that your own breathing pattern generates resistance. One morning, as Hector prepared to set his nets, an older man arrived beside him. His appearance embodied the wisdom of many tides. Your breath fights the ocean, he stated. When you've grasped the fish, scatter. When you align, they gather. The old guy instructed Hector to slow his breathing and experience the rhythm of the waves. With each inhalation, he absorbed the ocean's energy. With each exhale, he released his breath in perfect sync with the water's flow. That dusk, his nets almost burst with abundance. In the distant eastern mountains, a wanderer named Kai never used maps, yet he always found his way. Those who met him observed his unusual habit of breathing deeply and slowly, as if each breath pulled him naturally toward his destiny. He never rushed or pressed his course. Instead, he let his breath guide him, trusting in its wisdom to get him where he needed to go. These anecdotes demonstrate a fundamental reality about attraction. What you desire is already pursuing you. Your breath is a link between desire and manifestation. When you breathe in alignment with what you want to attract, you create a magnetic field that brings it to you effortlessly. A breath of magnetic attraction. Sit silently and envision what you want to attract. Begin breathing gently and deeply. As you inhale, imagine you are capturing the essence of your desire. Feel it permeate your entire existence. Exhale, releasing any tension or force. Allow your breath to generate a soothing current, bringing your desire closer with each cycle. Continue until you feel a magnetic connection between you and the object you desire. This exercise aligns your energy field with the natural flow of attraction, allowing manifestation to happen with grace rather than struggle, much like a river finds its way to the sea. Your intention flows through the currents of universal energy, gaining momentum as it goes. When you let go of the desire to push results and instead believe in this magnetic alignment, you open yourself up to receive in ways far larger than your intellect could imagine. Chapter 12, The Breath of Certainty. In the sacred ground of an ancient temple, a young archer named Jean stood terrified in front of his target. His hands trembled, his chest tightened with weak, gasping breaths, revealing his inner struggle. "I'm afraid of missing," he muttered to the master, who watched attentively alongside him. You're familiar with the sense of constriction in your chest. When doubt seeps in, your breathing becomes shallow and unsure. You, like Jean, may discover that the rhythm of your breathing is holding your desires hostage. The master's remarks pierce through the morning air. Your breath does not trust in the arrow's flight, nor does the arrow. Jean realized at that point the importance of taking a deep, focused inhalation. As he inhaled, assurance entered his lungs. The arrow flew true, hitting its target with pinpoint accuracy. In a secluded valley, a woman named Maya dwelt in the shadow of self-doubt. Each morning, she would look at her mirror, her breath seize in her throat as she struggled to acknowledge her own strength. One day, she realized that breathing with perfect conviction, taking deep, steady breaths, conveyed a sense of unchanging self-worth. The universe began to mirror her internal transfer machine. This exposes the hidden mechanism of uncertainty. It exists not only in your ideas, but also in the pattern of your breathing. Modern science has shown what the ancients knew. Your breath influences your brain chemistry, altering the fundamental foundation of your beliefs and convictions. The breath of unshakable certainty. Begin by laying your hand on your heart, connecting with the ancient wisdom that runs through your entire body. Inhale deeply, feeling certain. Feel your full being, from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. Hold this breath for a moment, allowing it to permeate every cell and fiber of your being. As you exhale, let any lingering doubt vanish like morning mist in the warmth of sunlight. Increase your sense of total certainty with each breath cycle. Create it as a fortress of faith within your soul. Continue until you sense an unshakable connection to your desire. As natural as the rising sun and as reliable as the stars that guide travelers home. Allow this breath to serve as your anchor to truth, your connection to the boundless power that has always existed within you. Chapter 13. The Breath of Gratitude. The quickest way to arrive at a castle of white marble. A servant named Kareem knelt before his lord, accepting a small clay cup filled with water. Despite the vessel's basic appearance, Kareem's eyes gleamed with adoration. He raised the cup to his lips, inhaling the perfume of pure spring water, his chest rising in thanks before taking the first sip. Each breath and swallow becomes a prayer of gratitude. You both have this power within your breath. The intensity of your thankfulness impacts the magnitude of what enters your life. When you breathe with appreciation for what is in front of you, like Kareem did, you make room for greater abundance to enter. The Lord, observing his subordinates' awe, took a golden goblet from his treasury. Those who breathe in appreciation receive abundantly, he declared, slipping the treasured vessel into Kareem's shaking hands. The universe responds not to what you have, but to how much you value what you already have. Modern study reveals what mystics have long known. Gratitude, when combined with attentive breathing, triggers specific brainwave patterns associated with enhanced receptivity and manifestation. Each appreciative breath sends a signal to the universe. This beacon summons new reasons for Thanksgiving in a distant location. A merchant named Razor lost his entire fortune to thieves. Nonetheless, each morning he would stand facing the rising sun, breathing deeply, his heart brimming with gratitude for the air in his lungs, the ground beneath his feet, and the light on his face. With each grateful breath, his energy moved quickly, as if orchestrated by an unseen hand. Opportunities arose, connections emerged, and his fortune returned tenfold. Sit motionless with the breath of limitless gratitude, both hands over your heart center. Begin by inhaling deeply and feeling grateful for your breath, the beautiful gift that keeps you alive. With each breath, send waves of thankfulness through your entire being, from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. Accept gratitude for what is, for each blessing that graces your current moment. With each inhalation, express gratitude for what's to come and the unlimited possibilities that are already coming your way. Feel how this precious breath connects you to the never-ending flow of abundance. Continue this technique until your entire body is pulsing with gratitude. Every cell sings in thanks, knowing that each grateful breath attracts more abundance into your life. Allow this vibration of thankfulness to become your normal condition of being a beacon, attracting ever-increasing benefits. Chapter 14. The Breath of Visualization. Thaddeus, a sculptor, sat in a quiet studio drenched in morning light, looking at an unspoiled block of marble. His hands remained motionless and his chisel unharmed. Instead of hurrying to carve, he closed his eyes. He started breathing, Not like a craftsman preparing to begin, but as an artist who has already created his masterpiece. You have the same creative power. The breath you take influences the reality you make, as if your goal is already manifest. You bridge the gap between vision and form. Thaddeus drew in the essence of his completed work with each inhalation. His breath flowed not over the rough stone, but over the beautiful contours and precise lines that existed in possibility. His body rang with a sense of accomplishment, his cells pulsing with the assurance of completion. Only until his breath matched his vision did he raise his chisel. The breath transforms your imagination into tangible reality. Modern neuroscience has discovered that sync breathing and visualization stimulate brain circuits that convert mental images into tangible realities. Your breath serves as a link between what you see in your mind and what happens in reality. In a faraway city, a businessman called his son, who faced increasing obligations that were insurmountable. Each night before going to bed, he would breathe deeply, filling his lungs with a feeling of being free of any financial obligations. His breath conveyed not the burden of debt, but the lightness of abundance. Within weeks, unforeseen opportunities arose, providing exactly the resources needed to meet his obligations. The essence of living vision. Find a quiet area and get into a comfortable position. Begin breathing gently and deeply. Inhale not only oxygen, but also the essence of your goal fulfilled. Feel it filling every cell of your body. With every exhale, release any doubt or resistance, knowing that your vision is already realized in the invisible realm. Continue breathing in this manner, allowing your body to resonate with the sensation of already possessing what you desire. Allow your breath to guide you into the experience of your desire manifested. Feel the emotions, take in the subtleties, embrace the certainty. Your breath serves as a living link between vision and reality, between what you envisage and what you produce with each inhale. Draw deeper into the sacred knowing, this profound insight that what you envision is already present in the invisible world. Allow your entire self to vibrate with the reality of your fulfilled wish. Because in these moments of aware breathing, you overcome the illusion of linear time. You are an eternal now, where all possibilities merge, where your dreams are present realities that need be acknowledged rather than distant hopes. Chapter 15, The Rhythm of Manifestation. When to inhale and exhale. In a little community with undulating hills, a farmer named Chan worked tirelessly in his fields. Every day, he pushed and prodded at the soil. He wants his crops to grow quickly. His breath came in quick, nervous bursts as he moved between the rows, inspecting each sprout for evidence of growth. You, like Chan, may find yourself impeding the natural flow of manifestation. The universe follows a sacred rhythm of giving and receiving. Your breath moves in an endless dance of inhalation and exhalation. One morning, while Chan stood frustrated in his field, an elder approached without speaking. She took his hand and placed it on the ground. "Feel how the soil breathes," she whispered. "It receives rain and then unleashes its bounty. You cannot command the seed to sprout. Similarly, you cannot compel the breath to stay. The law of manifestation reflects this truth. The inhalation symbolizes the moment of creation, drawing in the possibility. The exhale represents liberation. Allow your desires to unfold naturally. Most stumble because they remained in one state, eternally grasping or waiting in a remote valley. A teenage musician named Maya struggled with her flute. Her music seemed hard and mechanical. Each note fought against the next until an old master revealed the secret. "Your breath is fighting the instrument," he noted. "Breathe as if you and the flute were one being." Maya learned to coordinate her breathing with her instrument. The music transformed. She no longer played the flute. They danced in perfect harmony. The balance of breath. Practice. Sit still and place your hands on your lap, palms facing up. Begin with a deep, soft inhalation, feeling that you are receiving universal energy. As you exhale, turn your palms downward, releasing all resistance with each inhalation. Feel yourself drawing what you want and allowing it to absorb your entire existence. With each exhale, let go of the need to control how it happens. Continue with this beat, receiving with an inhalation, surrendering with each inhalation. Allow your breath to establish its natural equilibrium of giving and receiving, flowing like the infinite tides of the universe. Feel how this rhythm connects you to the natural flow of manifestation, the ancient dance of creation itself. The farmer learned to trust the wisdom of the earth by gently planting seeds and allowing nature's intelligence to work its magic. In contrast, the musician learned to dance with her instrument, surrendering to the holy connection between artist and art. You will discover your own unique rhythm of creation in the space of balanced breath. You become one with the universal powers that have guided seekers down the centuries, understanding that manifestation is not about force, but about achieving harmony with the natural order of things. Chapter 16, The Alchemy of Breath in Thought. In a dimly lit chamber, ancient scrolls lay unfurled beneath the flickering lamplight. A young scribe named Thaddeus observed something unusual as his quill drew the sacred names. He saw that each sacred word appeared to dance to a hidden rhythm. You have the same spiritual link between breath and word. Though time has obscured this fact from your consciousness, the ancients recognized that breath was more than just air passing through the body. It was the driving force behind intention. Pay close attention. The master gave Thaddeus instructions. Each sacred name takes 3 breaths to write. This is not an accident. The maestro demonstrated inhaling deeply before inscribing the initial stroke and holding his breath. And the quill hit the parchment. It gently released, and the character took shape. Your thoughts, like these hallowed writings, gain strength when carried by the breath. Modern science has discovered that various breathing patterns stimulate brain networks, thereby boosting the electrical signals associated with thought. When you breathe deliberately while holding an intention, you generate a resonance that travels across the quantum field. In a distant region, a merchant named Rashid struggled to express his goals until he discovered the ancient skill of breath-enhanced intention. Every morning, he spoke his truth, matching his words to his breath. What were once simple words quickly transformed into reality seeds, blooming into manifestation with startling speed. The breath of power. Practice. Close your eyes and get into a comfortable position. Start by taking 3 deep, centering breaths. Now, choose your intention. Make it precise, concise, and in the present tense. As you inhale, silently collect the energy of your intention, pulling it up from the depths of your being like priceless water from an ancient well at the pinnacle of your inhalation. Hold both your breath and your thoughts, allowing them to meld into one, unified within the sacred chamber of your heart. As you exhale, release your desire into the cosmos with complete trust, knowing that it is already unfolding in ways both visible and unseen. Continue the rhythm with each affirmation. Inhale, gather, hold, merge. Exhale, release. Allow each breathing cycle. Bring your intention deeper into the fabric of reality, turning bare words into living forces of creation. Feel how each breath serves as a link between your inner world and the limitless possibilities that await in the quantum realm with each cycle. Your purpose grows stronger, more refined, and eventually resonates with the frequency of creation itself. Chapter 17. The inner shift become the new you through breath in a forgotten dungeon deep below an ancient city. A man named Khalil remained motionless. His limbs were not tied with chains. Each short breath he drew served to cement the mental cage he had created. You, too, may feel constrained by unseen limitations, habits, beliefs, and routines that keep you tied to an outdated version of yourself. However, freedom lies in a fact so simple that it frequently goes unrecognized. Your identity changes with each breath you take. Watch spoke the aged sage who appeared before Khalil's cell. Your breath tells the story of who you believe you are. Breathe like a prisoner, and the prison walls remain. Breathe as a free man, and observe what changes. As Khalil took in his first conscious breath, something stirred within him with each subsequent inhalation. He inhaled the essence of freedom. With each exhalation, He released the weight of imprisonment. His situation remained unchanged. However, his inner reality underwent a dramatic change. The science of neuroplasticity verifies what mystics have long believed. Your neural system reorganizes itself according to your breathing patterns. When you breathe as your future self, your body begins to reflect that truth. In a distant country, Queen Amara inherited a small kingdom. Nonetheless, each morning she would breathe as if she had already governed the immense empire she envisioned. Her breath had the authority of a ruler, whose kingdom extended beyond horizon's limit. Within a year, neighboring kingdoms sought partnership, and her jurisdiction grew organically and smoothly. She had already become that monarch through her breath, the breath of becoming practice. Sit quietly and imagine the version of yourself who has already accomplished everything you wish. Experience their presence, energy, and way of being. Now, breathe as they do. Draw in the air, as if you had their confidence, assurance, and knowledge. Hold this breath briefly at the crown of your head, allowing to fill every cell with your new identity. As you exhale, let go of any parts of your old self that no longer serve you. Continue to breathe as a developed version of yourself. Steady, assured, empowered. Allow each breath to rebuild your neurological system, transforming old patterns into new possibilities. Feel how your body automatically adapts its posture, energy, and essence to fit this higher level being. Your breath literally shapes who you are, moment by moment and cell by cell. With each breath, you draw in more of the divine knowledge. This uneasy, verifiable confidence that you have already become who you were born to be. Your muscles relax. Your shoulders sink. Your spine lengthens. All are reacting to the subtle authority that now radiates from you. This isn't just a visualization. It is the tangible manifestation of your metamorphosis, as natural as a flower facing the sun. Allow your breath to bring you deeper into this truth until it is your only reality. Chapter 18, The Breath of Love. Creating relationships and connections in a crowded marketplace where thousands pass every day without making a meaningful connection. A man named Ravi sat alone, despite being surrounded by people. He felt invisible, as if a barrier isolated him from the outside world. You may recognize this sensation, a sense of separation that no amount of social interaction appears to alleviate. The truth is found not in seeking new relationships, but in knowing how your breath either embraces or repels them. As Ravi watched the crowds pass by, an elder in plain robes paused before him. "Why do I feel unseen?" Ravi asked, his voice scarcely audible. The sage, his eyes were old and wise when he said, "Because your breath has forgotten how to welcome." When you breathe in fear of rejection, you establish tiny walls that others unconsciously notice. Your breath tells your narrative of guardedness, past hurts, and unwillingness to connect. Modern studies have revealed that when humans form friendships, they instinctively synchronize their breathing patterns. This synchronization causes a production of oxytocin, a hormone that promotes trust and connection. Maya and Arun, two lovers from a distant village, had grown apart. Words couldn't bridge the divide between them, until a wise woman taught them the ancient skill of shared breath. Sitting in silence, they began to breathe together rather than separately. Walls fell down in that sacred realm of synchronized breathing. Comprehension dawned, and love flowed once more. Connection breath practice. Find a quiet area and get into a comfortable position. Begin by placing one hand on your heart and feeling the steady rhythm. Breathe deeply, imagining each inhalation, drawing on global love. Each exhalation conveys warmth and welcome. Let your breath be an invitation. Open, gentle, accepting. Now, envision someone with whom you want to connect more closely. As you breathe in, absorb their essence, and as you exhale, release it. Send them warmth. Feel how your breath connects hearts, a sacred area in which genuine connection can thrive. Continue this beat until you notice a shift in your energy field, from isolation to connection, and from separation to unity. This technique gently reprograms your neural system, removing old patterns of guarded, innocent fear that may have benefited you in the past, but are no longer in your best interests. As you maintain this beautiful rhythm of breath and intention, new brain pathways arise, allowing true connections to flow freely and abundantly. The ancient wisdom keepers recognize the fundamental reality that our breath has the potential to affect not just our own state of being, but also the fabric of our interactions with others. Use this exercise before crucial meetings, during meaningful conversations, or whenever you want to strengthen your relationships with those around you. Like a master key that opens long, locked doors, it will illustrate the limitless possibilities that exist when hearts truly connect in openness and trust. Chapter 19, The Breath of Infinite Wealth. Unlocking Financial Abundance. In the shadow of ancient temple walls, a shopkeeper named Kadir grasped his ledger, his fingers white with anxiety. His money, like water through cupped hands, appeared to elude his eager grip. You have also felt this. When you think about money, your chest tightens. The thin breath of shortage has become so common. However, this pattern contains a secret to its transformation. Watching Cartier's agony, a mystic approached with a fistful of gold coins. Hold these, he told Cartier, placing them in her palms. However, as Cartier's fingers squeezed around them, the coins fell through and scattered across the stone floor. The mystic discovered that your breath is similar to your grasp. Breathe as if you are already wealthy, and you will never be without. This truth has endured through the centuries. Your breathing pattern has a direct impact on your financial realities. Constricted breathing causes energetic obstacles that impede abundance from flowing. Consider how your breath changes when you think about money. Does it get shallow, short, restricted? This is the breath of scarcity, and it communicates to the universe where you operate. Lack. In a distant city, a beggar named Hassan lived with nothing but the clothes on his back. One night, a dream visitor taught him how kings breathe. Deep, steady, and assured. With each breath, Hassan began to feel the certainty of riches in his bones. He walked differently, spoke differently, and carried himself with confidence. Opportunities emerged seemingly out of nowhere within a matter of months. A merchant offered him work. Then came collaboration, followed by shared ownership. Hassan's metamorphosis began with air, not with riches. The prosperity breath practice involves sitting comfortably and allowing your spine to naturally stretch. Place your hands on your lower abdomen and notice how it expands with each breath. Now breathe as wealth breathes steadily, flowing, abundant. Each breath brings in boundless prosperity. Each exhalation removes any obstacle to receiving. As you continue in this beat, feel the difference between a tight breath of lack and a broad breath of abundance. Allow your shoulders to open as your chest expands. Relax. Breathe. As someone who understands that richness is their natural state, I silently declare with each cycle that I breathe as abundance does. I am endowed with boundless prosperity. Continue until you experience a shift from restriction to expansion, from scarcity to abundance. Chapter 20. The Sacred Breath Ritual. Creating a daily manifestation. Practice. In the earliest light of dawn, a village elder sat beneath an ancient oak tree, surrounded by searchers with their questions and prayers. He stayed silent, taking a deep, mindful breath. The air was alive with possibilities. You've been told that manifesting involves consistent effort, countless affirmations, visions, and rituals. However, the fact is simple. A single conscious breath, taken with full intention, is more powerful than numerous unconscious prayers. The first breath you breathe when you wake up influences the next few hours. Most people rush through their day, breathing shallowly and quickly, dragging yesterday's worries into tomorrow's prospects. However, those who know the secret begin in a different way. They pause, breathe deliberately, and set the tone for what is to come. Ahmad, a wanderer who had been lost for days, dwelt in the foreign land highlands. He roamed, studying maps and asking for directions, becoming increasingly bewildered with each step. One evening, an older woman shared a secret breath of intention at sunrise and sunset. The breath will lead you home. Ahmad initially dismissed her remarks as gibberish, but had no other option. He began to practice. Every morning and evening, he would pause, face the sun, and take a single conscious breath. His steps became more sure over time. His path is obvious. He found himself drawn to the right roads, meeting the right people, and arriving exactly where he wanted to be. As the first light appears on the horizon, an old breath rite is performed. Find a calm place. Stand or sit with your spine straight and facing east. Close your eyes and take a deep, mindful breath. Feel the air fill your lungs with golden brilliance. As you inhale, you will carry the energy of new possibilities. Feel as if your desire has already manifested, allowing every cell in your body to vibrate with the truth of its existence. Hold your breath for a time, allowing your entire being to connect with this reality, sensing how the energy of creation pours through you as you exhale. Let go of all doubt, reluctance, and resistance, knowing that the universe has already started moving in answer to your goal, weaving the tapestry of manifestation in ways you cannot comprehend. This single breath, taken with complete awareness, sets the tone for the rest of your day. Attune your spirit to the limitless possibilities that await. Repeat at sunset. The energetic circle is being closed, finishing the divine rhythm that ties you to the endless dance of creation. One mindful breath twice a day is all that is necessary. There are no complicated rites or sophisticated ceremonies. This simplicity contains immense power. True transformation comes from the depth of our awareness, not from the grandness of our actions. Part 3. Mastering the Breath of Reality. Creation. Chapter 21. The Breath of Presence. Unlocking the Eternal Now. A traveling seeker travels to faraway worlds, looking for the elusive path to inner tranquility. Finally, he discovers a sage living in a small cave in the mountains. The sage. As the seeker asks the question, his eyes light up with ancient wisdom. Where can I find tranquility without speaking? The sage pours a ceramic bowl filled with crystal clear water and gives it to the seeker. The sage says that you should drink this water, but only in the past or future. The seeker looks at the bowl bewildered. He tries to sip tomorrow's water, but his lips stay dry. He tries to sample the water from yesterday, but the bowl is empty. There, only until he surrenders to the present moment does the chilly liquid reach his lips. Regardless of how you attempt, the breath reflects this truth. You can't breathe tomorrow's air or recapture yesterday's. The breath exists only in the eternal now. The sacred present moment is where all power exists. This is why those who master manifestation come first. Master your presence by breathing. Modern science has shown what the ancients already knew. When you take deep breaths in the present moment, your brain waves alter. The mind's scattered energies come into focus. Stress fades and clarity arises. In this state of presence, you can access the quantum field, which contains all possibilities. In a distant panther kingdom, a legendary warrior lived who spent his days training for future conflicts. His thoughts raced forward, picturing future fights. Every night, his dreams were filled with terror and anguish. Then he encountered a mysterious teacher who revealed a basic fact. The warrior who lives fully in the present moment fears nothing, for fear exists only in thoughts of tomorrow. The warrior began to practice presence through breath. With each mindful inhalation, he rooted himself in the present moment, realizing that all of his fears live in an imagined future that never materialized. His power grew not from excessive preparation, but from intense presence. The present moment breath. Locate a comfortable position and close your eyes. Allow your breath to flow freely without forcing or manipulating it. Take note of how each breath arrives precisely at this instant, not a second before or after. As ideas of the past or future come, focus your attention on the physical experience of breathing. Feel the chilly air enter your nostrils, the smooth expansion of your chest, and the warm exhalation. Allow each breath to take you deeper into the present moment. If your mind wanders, without judgment, return to the breath. Feel how each inhale provides a moment of complete presence. Each exhalation expels anything that is not in this instant. Continue this exercise for a few minutes, allowing the breath to ground you in the everlasting now. Consider how calm naturally occurs when you truly occupy the present moment. Chapter 22, The Breath of the Divine, Merging with the Universal Consciousness. In the hallowed halls of an ancient temple, a student approaches a master, a mixture of terror and awe on their face. How can I hear the divine's voice? The student asks, his voice barely audible. As he leans in closer, the master's eyes shine with knowledge. Listen to your breath, he says softly. You see, breath is more than just air passing through your body. It is the first sound you produce while entering this world, and a final whisper as you depart. It is the timeless melody of creation coursing within you, a divine conversation that never ends. Each breath conveys the wisdom of the ages, whispering universal truths. When you first entered this world, you inhaled, obtaining life itself. Your final action will be to exhale and surrender back to the source. Between these times is a divine dance of the breath. Every cycle of prayer, each breath, is a spiritual embrace. Each exhale is a release into cosmic flow. Modern science confirms what mystics have long held to be true. Specific breathing patterns affect brainwave frequencies, raising consciousness to transcendental levels. In these advanced states, the physical-spiritual barrier dissolves, allowing for direct communication with higher wisdom in a monastery situated high in the mountains. There was a monk named Kenzo who sought spiritual unification through numerous methods. One day, while meditating, he realized that his breath was not his own. The universe was breathing through him. He submitted to this fact. His awareness grew beyond his bodily form just by breathing. He touched the infinite, his being dissolving into pure light. Sacred breath of divine connection. Sit motionless and close your eyes. Begin by watching your normal breathing without modifying it. Feel how each breath flows through you like a celestial stream. Now, slowly deepen your breathing. Imagine each inhale, bringing in universal light and wisdom. With each exhale, let go of all that keeps you from experiencing divine consciousness. As your breathing deepens, consider it moving not only through your lungs, but throughout your entire body. Feel how each breath brings you closer to the cosmic dance of creation. Allow your awareness to expand with each cycle, dissolving the illusion of separation. Continue inhaling in this manner, allowing each breath to serve as a bridge between the physical and spiritual realms. Feel yourself merging with the eternal breath that pervades everything in this hallowed location. Listen deeply, not just with your ears, but with your whole being. The holy voice can be heard in the silence between breaths. Chapter 23, Silence Between Breaths, The Gateway to Miracles. In the midst of an ancient city, a sculptor named Ravi labored incessantly on a block of marble. His hands moved with expertise, but something was lacking. The stone refused to reveal its secret beauty. Every day, he chiseled and carved, but perfection remained elusive. Seeking advice, he went to his teacher, an old artisan well known across the land. After listening to Ravi's frustration, the teacher offered unexpected advice. Do nothing. Ravi, perplexed with trusting, followed instructions. He sat in front of the unfinished stone, his instruments unmoved. At first, his mind raced with impatience, but as time passed, something changed in the depths of silence. He began to realize what his busy hands had overlooked. He finally lifted his chisel again. It moved as if guided by an invisible power, unveiling the masterpiece that had always existed within. You see, creation does not come from constant doing. It emerges from the pauses between actions. The sacred pause contains unlimited potential, just as the interval between your breaths has tremendous power. These periods of quiet serve as gates to the unseen realms, where manifestation begins. In the mountains of Tibet, a woman named Maya sought an answer that had eluded her for many years. She had traveled rather far. I consulted several wise people, but came up with no solution. One evening, while sitting in meditation, she observed the space between her breaths, a time of complete stillness. In that silence, clarity appeared like the rising light. The solution she sought had always been present, waiting in the calm intervals of her own breathing, the silent breath of creation. Locate a comfortable position and close your eyes. Start breathing naturally. Observe the rhythm of your breath. Now, allow yourself to rest in the pause that occurs after each exhalation. Please do not force it. Watch this place of quiet during each cycle. Allow the pause to naturally extend. Feel how the space between breaths is not empty, but full of possibilities. In this hallowed calm, the cosmos reorganizes itself based on your deepest objectives. As you practice, note how answers and insights can emerge spontaneously from this area. The interval between breaths is your portal to unlimited intellect, where all possibilities coexist. Continue this exercise, making each pause a moment of pure opportunity, a place where manifestation starts in silence. Chapter 24. The Breath of Trust. Surrendering to the flow. In a remote harbor, a young sailor named Thomas faced severe winds. His muscles are straining against the elements. The longer he battled, the more fatigued he became. However, his vessel barely moved. His desperate struggle grabbed the attention of an elderly skipper who had been navigating these waters for decades. Your battle is against yourself, not the wind, the skipper said, his voice carrying wisdom gained from innumerable storms. Set your sails, not your struggle. You see, this reality reaches far beyond the seas. When you battle against life's currents, you create resistance that prevents your manifestations from coming to fruition. Your breathing indicates this pattern. Notice how a desperate inhalation causes tension, whereas a trusting exhale provides immediate relaxation. Universal flow is achieved by alignment rather than force. Just like a sail must work with the wind, not against it, your breath should dance with life rather than wrestle it. Modern science has revealed what ancient seafarers knew intuitively. When you exhale softly and trust the process, your nervous system transitions from a state of fight or flight to one of receptivity. In Alexandria's bustling markets, Karim, a merchant, spent years chasing fortune, his breath quick and frightened with each opportunity. His fortunes remained small until the day he learned to stop pursuing and begin allowing. He started breathing differently, not with the harsh, urgent inhales of someone in need, but with the deep, trusting exhales of someone who understands wealth. He's natural within months. Opportunities began to come to him effortlessly, as if borne by the same winds he had once struggled against. The breath of surrender. Find a peaceful area where you will not be disturbed. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Begin by noticing your natural breathing pattern. Feel your chest rise and fall like waves on the ocean. Concentrate on your exhalation with each breath out. Consider relinquishing not only air, but also the need to control outcomes. Allow each exhalation to be longer than your inhalation, developing a natural rhythm of trust and surrender. As ideas emerge concerning your desires and manifestations, do not push them away. Instead, breathe into them with total confidence. Feel how each inhalation releases the strain of yearning, replacing it with a deep acceptance of what is and what will be. Continue with this technique, allowing each breath to remind you that manifestation happens most effortlessly when you stop forcing and start trusting. Let your breath serve as a prayer of surrender to the universe's infinite wisdom. Chapter 25. The breath of expansion. In the midst of an ancient city, a kid named Zara spent her mornings watching a caged bird. Every day, she watched as the bird hopped from perch to perch, never attempting to stretch its wings. The cage door had rusted open long ago, yet the bird was nonetheless trapped not by metal bars, but by its own untapped potential. This simple image depicts a mirror of your own breath, how it became caged, restricted, Shallow, like the bird, your breath has lost its original potency, its ability to soar above perceived limits. Each shallow inhale strengthens the phantom barriers you accepted as reality. Modern science confirms what mystics have known for millennia. When you breathe deeply into your diaphragm, your whole body expands. According to studies, complete, aware breathing causes a cascade of physiological changes. Confidence hormones rise, energy fields expand, and restricting neuronal pathways dissolve in the majestic halls of an ancient temple. There was an artist named Maya who could never finish her masterpiece. Her brush would hover, shivering with uncertainty, until she mastered the divine art of breathing beyond bounds. She began each morning by breathing not as the artist she imagined herself to be, but as the master she knew she could become with each expanding breath. The walls of self-doubt collapsed. Her creativity evolved, flowing from a place of boundless promise rather than restrictive fear, a breath of limitless promise. Start by placing one hand on your stomach and one on your heart. Close your eyes and feel the movement of your current breath. Observe its patterns and limitations. Imagine your breath as wings, long dormant but ready to fly. Inhale deeply through your nose, feeling your stomach inflate like a balloon. As you fill your lungs entirely, imagine each breath vanishing, limiting one's beliefs. Feel your energy field expand with each inhale, pushing past any perceived boundaries. Exhale slowly through your mouth, removing any leftover concerns about your ability. Allow each inhalation to whisk away whispers of, "I can't," or "I'm not enough." Continue breathing in this manner, allowing each cycle to remind you of your limitless nature with each breath. Feel yourself transform into the epitome of unlimited possibility. Just as the bird was never truly caged, neither were you, except for beliefs you can now let go with each conscious breath. Chapter 26. The Breath of Quick Shifts. Quantum leaps occur in reality, along the busy streets of a historic market. A beggar named Hassan noticed a nobleman going by. The contrast between them seems great. Fine silk against damaged fabric. Confident stride against weariness. Shuffle. How is he different from me? Hassan muttered to himself. A mystic wearing modest robes appeared beside him. A single breath represents the space between who you are and who you could be. The mystic spoke while caressing Hassan's shoulder. Your breath reflects a pattern of poverty because you breathe as if you are lacking. He breathes as if he owned the planet. Transformation needs time, effort, and numerous processes. However, the quantum field, which is the invisible fabric of reality, responds to state rather than duration. Your breath is the most rapid transition between states of being. When you change your breath, you quickly change your frequency, and reality must reconfigure itself in response. Kai, a lowly shepherd living in the mountains far to the east, aspired to be a merchant. Each night, he counted his little savings and sighed in resignation, until one evening, a wandering sage gave him the secret. Breathe not as who you are, but as who you want to become. That night, Kai started breathing with the confidence of a successful merchant. By dawn, his entire bearing had changed. Within a few days, previously unnoticed opportunities arose. Others considered his metamorphosis miraculous, but Kai knew it started with a single deliberate breath, the quantum breath of transformation. Sit up straight, eyes closed, feel your current breathing pattern. Observe how it mirrors your current persona. Now, ready for the shift. Inhale sharply through your nose, filling your lungs with one powerful breath. Hold your breath for a time. Feel electricity rush through your body as you hold. Know that quantum rearrangement takes place during this pause. Let out an explosive breath through your mouth, as if you were releasing your previous identity. Take another strong breath in. This time, breathe as your ideal self would breathe. Feel the authority, confidence, and knowledge in this new breath. Continue the pattern for 7 cycles. Sharp inhale. Hold on to your brief. Explosive. Exhale during each cycle. Fully embody the spirit of your new condition. Your nervous system is being recoded. Your energy field was restructured. Your reality has been recreated entirely through the power of conscious breath. This is neither visualization nor pretension. It is a quantum shift that occurs with each breath. Science demonstrates that rapid, focused breathing patterns can alter brain chemistry in seconds, leading to immediate changes in perception and possibilities. Chapter 27. The Breath of Infinite Living Beyond the Illusion of Lack. In the depths of an ancient desert, a parched man named Deal came upon a stone well, his throat burning from thirst. However, as he looked into its depths, he only saw shadows. Empty, he murmured and turned aside, continuing his desperate journey. What a bargain! Couldn't see what his tight, terrified breathing kept him from discovering was the calm, pure water that lay just beyond his sight. You, too, may be wandering past wells of riches. Your breath is so thin from doubt that you can't feel the riches that surround you. The universe is not a place of limitations. It is an unlimited field of possibilities. However, breathing in short patterns develops the very constraints you dread. Consider how you breathe when you think about money, of opportunity, of success. Is your breathing restricted? Restricted. Anxious. This is the breath of scarcity, and it shapes your world, just as waves shape the surface of a pond. In the commerce district of a busy seaside city, there lived a trader named Rahim, who saw only locked doors and intense competition. His breathing was rapid and shallow, reflecting his concerns about survival. A wise woman sensed his sadness and instructed him to breathe as if wealth were limitless, like the ocean waves. The market is not your enemy, she remarked. It is as large as your breath permits it to be. Rahim's perception transformed as he began to breathe deeply and expansively, causing him to see competition differently. He now recognized possible partners. Opportunities he had previously neglected suddenly became visible. His business grew not because the market changed, but because his breath altered his perception of abundance. The boundless quantity and breadth. Stand with your feet firmly on the ground. Your arms are relaxed at your sides. Begin by exhaling slowly and completely, dismissing any restrictions or worries about abundance. Inhale through your nose, as if drawing all the universe's abundance. Feel your lungs expand in every way. Front, back, sides. Imagine your energy field expanding with each breath, becoming large enough to accept unlimited abundance. As you hold your breath at the peak, feel yourself merging with the infinite nature of the universe. Your body is a conduit for limitless fortune. Slowly exhale through your mouth, knowing that nothing is lost. With each cycle, you make room for greater abundance to flow in. Allow your breath to deepen and expand. Feel yourself transform into the personification of boundless abundance. The universe does not withhold. It waits for you to breathe in accordance with its unlimited essence. Chapter 28. The Creator's Breath Becoming the Source of Your Reality. In a palace of white marble, a young king sat on his throne, his golden arms wrapped around it, as whispers of revolt resonated across his country. His advisor, an elderly sage who had served 3 generations of monarchs, observed his shallow, erratic breathing. Your power does not lie in that golden seat. The sage said this as he approached the throne. It stems from how you breathe. You must understand this fundamental reality before speaking a word, issuing an edict, or taking any action to alter the world. Breath decides the outcome. When you breathe with dread, the world reacts with turmoil. When you breathe from power, reality reflects your sovereignty. The breath is your initial act of creation. It precedes thinking, word, and action. Modern science has shown what the ancients knew. Your breathing patterns have a direct impact on your posture, decision-making abilities, and most importantly, how you view yourself in relation to the world around you. Layla, a woman from a distant village, believed she was powerless to change her life conditions. Each morning, her breath was short and rapid, reflecting her sense of helplessness, until one day, a visiting mystic noticed her breathing pattern and exclaimed, "You breathe like a leaf in the wind," when you could breathe like the breeze. The mystic showed her how to breathe deeply from her core, filling her entire self with each inhale. Breathe as though you already can alter your reality. He gave instructions. Layla's presence changed with each fresh breath as her shoulders straightened. Her voice acquired its strength, and many around her began to react differently. Within months, she had transformed her situation, not through external change, but through the power of her breath, the sovereign breath. Practice. Begin by sitting or standing erect, as if you were wearing an unseen crown. Place one hand on your lower abdomen and the other on your heart. Empty your lungs entirely. Now, inhale slowly through your nose, feeling the breath. First, fill your stomach, then your chest. As you inhale, picture bringing in the force that builds universes. Hold this breath for a few seconds at its apex. Feel the excitement running through your entire body as you exhale through slightly open lips. Project this power outward as if your breath were altering reality itself. Feel each exhale, bringing your intentions into the world, restructuring it according to your vision. Allow your breath to become a gentle wind of transformation, sweeping through the ethers of possibilities. With each cycle, intensify this breath of authority. Let each inhale imbue you with celestial authority. Exhale to manifest your conscious creation. You are not simply breathing. Every breath you take creates reality. This ancient rhythm connects you to the very energy that brings worlds into being, that creates stars and determines destiny. As you continue with this practice, notice how your breath becomes more connected to the cosmic dance of creation, and remember that you are a part of the grand orchestration of universal law. Chapter 29. The Breath of Completion, the Circle of Creation. In the early morning light, a weaver sits before her finished tapestry. Her fingers trace the intricate design she has braided, demonstrating her patience and vision. It's done, she says quietly, exhaling deeply. Her eyes widen as she sees the finished work. She sees another, more beautiful design waiting to emerge. You must realize this timeless reality. Manifestation occurs in cycles, much like the breath. Each completion contains the seed of a fresh beginning. When you breathe in, you bring in new vision. When you exhale, you relinquish what was made. This beat reflects the universe itself. An unending cycle of birth, completion, and regeneration. In the mountains, a sage named Ramin lived, spending years in meditation to achieve enlightenment. One day, while observing his breath, he noted how each expiration automatically led to an inhalation, how each ending perfectly transitioned into a beginning. With this simple observation, he realized the sacred cycle of creation. That completion is a doorway rather than an end. The breath teaches us this insight. Nothing really ends. Each manifestation you bring into being is only one note in an infinite symphony. When you align with this truth, you release yourself from the burden of finality. Your inventions flow into one another. Each victory paves the way for larger possibilities. The completion, renewal, breath, practice. Sit quietly and reflect on anything you recently achieved or materialized. Put both hands over your heart. Take a full, deep breath to gather all the energy of your accomplishment. As you exhale, you will gradually experience a great sensation of accomplishment, as if you have created something wonderful. During the pause, after the exhalation, rest in the emptiness. This is a hallowed area between the end and the beginning. Now inhale again, bringing in new inspiration. Feel how easily new ideas emerge in the space created by completion. Continue with this beat, embracing new possibilities, breathing out completions. Each cycle respects what has been established, while allowing for what is to emerge. This is the breath of the eternal creation. The universe is sustained by its own rhythm. This exercise connects you to the infinite flow of creation, teaching you that every ending is also a new beginning. Chapter 30. The Final Breath. A New Beginning. A student. After years of studying ancient writings and seeking knowledge from numerous gurus, he approaches his master with one more question. What is the last teaching? He asks. His voice was laden with expectation. The master only smiles, takes a big breath, and slowly exhales. This is all he says. You've navigated these pages, uncovering the mystical connection between breath and manifestation. However, the greatest truth rests in its simplicity. The breath itself is the teacher and guide, the secret to all transformations. Each breath you take is both an end and a start, a conclusion and an invitation. A seeker named Darius resided in a secluded monastery for decades, collecting spiritual teachings and filling numerous scrolls with wisdom. One day, as he sat surrounded by his valuable information, he realized something was lacking. In frustration, he shut his eyes and took a deep breath. At that point, everything became evident. The breath he had taken for granted was the core of all he desired. The breath is a common thread that runs across all teachings, practices, and transformations. It connects who you are to who you are becoming. Remember, as this adventure comes to a natural end, nothing is truly complete and nothing is ever gone. The power you want has always been as close as the next breath. The final integration breath. Find a peaceful area where you won't be bothered. Sit with your spine straight but relaxed, and let your hands rest softly in your lap. Close your eyes and take 3 natural breaths, allowing your attention to focus on the present moment. With each inhale, gather all the knowledge you've gained on this voyage. Feel how each lesson has become a part of your being. Exhale to release any remaining doubt or reluctance. Allow your breath to flow spontaneously, bringing you into a deeper awareness of your own creative potential. As you continue to breathe, feel how each breath connects you to an unlimited field of possibilities. There is no distinction between you and what you want to create. The breath that passes through you right now is the same breath that flows through all of creation, connecting you to the vast cosmic dance of manifestation. Continue with this practice for as long as you feel it is right, knowing that each instant, each breath, is both complete and a new beginning. This is not the conclusion, but rather the beginning of conscious creation, propelled by your breath's endless rhythm. Allow each inhalation to fill you with divine potential, and each exhale to release you into complete trust. You have always created your own reality. This breath merely awakens you to the timeless truth. Feel the strength of this knowledge. Settle into your own cells, becoming as natural as the rise and fall of your chest. Greater than. Get your free ebook delivered to your email inbox. The link is in the pinned comment. Greater than the conclusion. This book may be coming to a conclusion, but your metamorphosis has only just begun. Every breath is a doorway. Each breath is an invitation. Every exhalation is a choice. The inner secret is no longer concealed from you. You're holding it now. Every breath you take. What will you create next? The ancient texts describe a moment when knowledge converts into wisdom. When teachings transcend the mind and enter the very fabric of being, that moment has arrived. With every breath you take, you create your own story of transformation. Mystics and sages guarded their power for millennia, and it now flows through you as naturally as the rise and fall of your chest. You discover what was always yours, the divine rhythm that shapes reality itself. You no longer need to look outside of yourself for the keys to manifestation. They vibrate within you, within the sacred space, between every heartbeat, in the quantum dance of every breath. Remember when you first opened these pages? You were looking for something, perhaps answers, perhaps power, maybe peace. However, what you have discovered is considerably bigger. Recognize that you are the universe's breath, constantly generating and recreating your reality. The breath you take now contains all possibilities. It can dissolve what no longer serves you and birth what you genuinely want. This isn't the end of the book. It represents the beginning of your conscious creation. There is a quiet between these words. Feel the rhythm of your own breathing. Observe how it passes through you, how it connects you to a limitless source of possibility. This is your inheritance, birthright, and genuine essence. Unveiled, you are currently at the cusp of endless possibilities. The old wisdom has been revealed, as something to be remembered rather than learned. Your breath serves as a link between the past and the future. According to gurus of old, pure wisdom cannot be expressed in words and must be experienced through the living breath. You now realize why each breath you take represents a new beginning, a blank canvas on which to paint your aspirations, a quantum instant of pure potential. Make your next breath an intentional choice. Allow it to carry the entire weight of your awakened consciousness. For in this breath and every breath that follows, you can change your reality to actualize your greatest aspirations and to transform not only yourself, but the entire world around you. If you enjoyed this unique audiobook, I have handpicked the next book that will alter your life.